Hey there, Alan Matthews here from Classical Guitar Shed. We're going to be talking about the A chord. Pretty soon you'll be playing an A chord with panache and flair. If you enjoy this video, please do subscribe to this channel. Be sure to press the little bell for notifications. All right, let's do this. The A chord. Playing the A chord. Let's take a look at this grid over here. So if you'll notice, the lines up and down represent the strings. The lines side to side represent the frets. And so the dots then represent the fingers, where we place our fingers with the numbers in them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is an important one with this chord, is the X's and O's up at the top of the grid. And so the X means don't play that string. So don't play that low 6th string. It's off limits. Instead, the lowest note of the A chord is this A string, the 5th string. And so we do that. Then we can place the first finger. There's 2 different ways to play this, and we'll talk about both, actually 3. So first finger, 2nd fret, 4th string. Right next to it, on the next string, we have the 2nd finger and then the 3rd. So this is a scrunch of a chord. Now, you'll have to come in at an angle, because if you square your hand up, then this first finger is not going to be able to get up by the fret. So we want to play right by the fret, so on all chords, so that it's really pretty. All the notes ring out clearly. We don't have to use the bear claw of the bear claw. That's a pastry. We don't have to use a really strong claw grip to get them down. Instead, they're right up by the frets, easy to press. And there it is. So we have to come in at an angle like this, but we don't want any sort of extreme wrist angle here. So that means keep your thumb behind your fingers and also get your neck up. If you're too low, this is gonna be funny, and it's just not gonna work as well. That's why a lot of people who play like this end up throwing away that top E string and just letting it just mute out, and then they'll just play it with one finger or something, and so it turns into a different type of chord. So if you want to play this and have all the notes ring out just lovely, then make a nice angle, get your neck up, come in at an angle. There's another way to play this, option number 2, and that's using the 2, 3, 4 fingers. So just same places, but then 2nd fingers on the 4th string, then the 3rd on the 3rd, and the 4th on the 2nd. So then we have this, and that can be really nice because the little finger is smaller, and those fingers are, that might be easier for you. Here's another option, a little bit more advanced of an option, but you can do it, and that's the 2nd finger comes in on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, 2, 2, 2. And then the 1st finger actually bars both the 4th string and the 3rd string. So it comes in and flops over that. And then this tip joint right here, you can see, that's going to press down. It's going to buckle. We typically don't want to do that. We don't want that knuckle to be doing like this. Same thing with like this is not the chord. Instead, this is the chord. We want our fingers to be nice and curved. However, here we curve that 2nd finger and then bring that 1st finger in to cover both of those. And that's a nice way to play this as well. It depends on the piece of music you're playing. It depends on what you're wanting and what you're used to. This is a little bit more advanced because it uses barring 2 fingers or 2 strings with 1 finger. So with all of these chords, there are a couple of things to watch out for. I mentioned the wrist angle. Don't let anything get too wonky there. Same thing, we don't want the wrist coming in like this. We never want to put this part of the hand on the back of the guitar. So we don't want to play like this. Not good with that. We want there to be space in here. Likewise, we want there to be space right here. And so with that, we don't want to clamp the hand into the guitar like this and then play like that. We want there to be some space there. That enables us to move around more freely. We don't want to lock ourselves into that position. So that's true with either one of these positions that we're going to play this in. So those are the main considerations. The other thing is when you're playing these notes, to not let those fingers, you're gonna have to really smush them together, to not let them touch either the 5th string, which needs to play open, or the 1st string, which also needs to play open. So then having those come right in and play nice and curved fingers close to the frets as possible, without hitting those open strings. So one other thing here with this chord, we want to keep the thumb in this shape, not this. We don't want to put the tip of the thumb on the back of the guitar. We want this. So we want the pad of the thumb on the back of the guitar. So we don't want to have this really locks up the hands. We don't want to play that tip back there like we don't want to do that. So those are the considerations of this. You can practice playing this in different ways and also with other chords. And some of the common chords that you'll see play with an A, D is probably the most common. So going back and forth between the A and the D chord. This is nice because there's a lot of second fret action on both of those chords. So you can really look at where each finger is going. The first finger just moves over 1. The second finger moves over 2. So we have here to here. And so then the third finger just moves up. So you can use that as a guide finger if you'd like to, and just slide it up. And it doesn't have to lift each time. So instead it can just slide. And that can be a nice guide. Now also when you're changing strings, notice that the D chord has a slightly different hand and wrist position to play it. The A, we're kind of coming in at more of an angle. The wrist is out a little bit, not crazy, but it's out a little bit. The elbow is definitely out a little bit. We do the D chord, and we're moving positions just a little bit, and we may rotate this way with the arm just a little bit as well. So just be aware of that, take a look at it. If you find anything is going strange, or if you find any tension, then free up your wrist a little bit and see what you think. With any time, if you can just do it in isolation, shake it out, put it there as best you can, and notice how everything is. And then when you're changing chords, do that with the other chord as well. What's my ideal D chord? And then you can just go from one ideal position to the next, here to here to here to here. Great. You will also see the A chord frequently play with an E chord. And likewise, this one might be easier to use the 2, 3, 4 because it moves over so easily. And you can just leave the first finger on if you're coming back to the E chord. And so that's a good one to practice. And those are the two most common ones that we will find with D7. We also might find it with D minor, and so you can practice going between those. Same thing though with the same thing with the third finger, and even with the D minor, we're also keeping the second finger in exactly the same place as well if we're playing it 1, 2, 3. So that's a fun one. So those are the most common. With your A chord, you can always practice that also on your arm, practicing switching betweens, just thinking of it. The more times that you can just touch on that information in your head throughout the day, the faster you'll learn it. All right. Enjoy playing some A chord. It'll turn out quite handy for you, I feel certain. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to this channel, and we will do it again soon. Bye-bye.